Welcome to the Irrigation Insights Podcast, where we talk about the business of irrigation. I'm your host, Jacob.
And I'm your co-host, Ben. Well, I was going to call you last night. Looks like I'm going to Florida without you.
Going to Florida?
Yeah. That poker tournament we play in, I won the seat to go play in Florida.
Really? Where at in Florida?
Orlando, actually.
Oh, nice. When's that?
March 13th.
Oh.
Which is a Thursday.
Yeah,
well, a Wednesday and a Thursday.
That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it does suck because I have to take off work because I really didn't want to take off work, but I really didn't expect to actually win, actually. But I will have you know it's a 15-hour drive and I will be driving. Everyone else is flying, but me and CL. CL's going too.
Golly.
I've been to Florida twice actually by car.
Yeah, I drove to Florida several times.
I went to Orlando once as a kid, and then I rode with Dad all the way to Florida one time to pick up a trailer that he bought, brand new. And he was like, I don't know why he decided to buy one in Florida, all the way to Florida.
Why did he buy a brand new trailer in Florida? He
wanted this is when we were still riding motorcycles. He wanted a 16-foot, no, I'm sorry, it was 14 feet. He wanted a 14-foot tandem axle black enclosed trailer with chrome accents, and he couldn't find it here.
Dang.
This was during the Obama years when things were. I think at the time metal was hard to find and trailers were really, really, really expensive. And I think this one in Florida was a little cheaper, but I think he just wanted to drive there.
Yeah. Trailers have done nothing but go up every year.
Well, you know that your trailer that you haven't used since you were mowing all those years ago has done nothing but go up in value. Mm-hmm. It's just sitting there with the same 4 bald tires it's had since year 2.
Yeah, since I stopped mowing.
It gets borrowed more than you use it.
For sure. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I bought that trailer for like $1,600 and they're like $3,000 now.
Didn't you buy it brand new?
Mm-hmm, brand new. Yeah, like $3,000 new now.
Yeah, people are killing for that price.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
People are buying old rusted ones that need work for that price.
Mm-hmm.
And yours is just sitting there.
I'm not getting rid of it either, man. It's
I wish you'd got a 16-foot one, though. I mean, I know why you got the one you got, but still, it's annoying.
Yeah, well, I got it because that's what I could afford, really. Back then, I would have got a bigger one. I wanted one with walls and everything, but those were,
really expensive.
Yeah, really expensive.
Now those are really expensive.
Yeah, now they're even more expensive.
Oh, speaking of that, before we jump into this, I wanted to say something, but I was in the middle of something, but I thought this in my head. One of the dealers, they were sitting there talking, and they were arguing about this guy mowing his yard. And they were like, man, I told him $20 come mow my yard. I'm like, golly, people are still paying that?
Who?
One of the dealers at one of the tables was complaining about this.
Poker game?
Yeah, complaining about this guy not wanting to mow his yard for $20. I'm like, it's just what? Nobody does that anymore.
Gross. Ew.
Yeah, gross.
$20.
And he's one of these customers. He's like, I just wanted my front yard mowed.
No, I mean we'll do it. Same.
But then he was like, if he wants to mow my backyard, he can do it for. I'll give him $30, but there's nothing back there to mow. And I'm like, oh god. Oh god.
Well, he couldn't find anybody.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, no wonder.
I started to tell him and this was 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago it was $150 an acre here.
Probably, yeah.
He's sitting on a 1/4 acre lot. What's that math come out like?
Quarter. Oh, I mean for a 1/4 acre, I don't know. I mean, that's a big yard. It's a big yard to push mow. These little my yard's not. It's it's small. It's not a 1/4 of an acre.
I was just sitting there thinking in my head about how you used to mow, and that's just how people think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mowing shouldn't even be residential. Mowing shouldn't be a business. That's why I got out of it.
I'm sure that's not a bad conversation for you to have here because there's probably a lot of guys that are just coming up that are probably doing something like that.
Yeah. I know there's that one guy around here that we run into at the parts house that likes to ask us questions.
Yeah, Nichols mowing. Yeah. Probably shouldn't have said that, but
well, it's just not the average. I mean, a whole mowing crew's 4 guys, and then your average ticket's what, $50 maybe. That doesn't math.
No,
it doesn't work out.
Some guy stopped. I remember I was telling you about this. Some guy stopped me one day. I was doing sprinkler work at like one of those like acre or 2 acre properties over in I think it was Sunnyvale, and this big ass crew that came in, like 5 guys, 2 guys were zeroing it, they're blowing it off, weed eating, and he gets done. He's like, "Hey man, you give me some of your cards, I'll give you some of my cards." And he gives me one of his cards, and he's like, yards. It was like full yard, like trim, blow, and mow everything or whatever it was like $45. And I'm just thinking, like, I'm looking out, he's driving like two brand new trucks with trailers and all this equipment. I'm like, how the fuck is he paying for that? He's got to be working like 8 days a week, and there's only 7.
Yeah. It doesn't add up. I mean, a 0-turn commercial mower is like $15,000.
Yeah.
A push mower, they're like $1,600 now.
Yeah.
How many yards you got to mow it? $40 a piece.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, yeah, there probably is a little bit of money in it, but like, my issue with it is how do you have an employee retention rate? Because you can't pay them that much.
Yeah, you can't.
You're not gonna pay anybody enough in that business to keep anybody.
Yeah, I think it works out okay if you're. My thought was always like, if you can not buy any 0-turns, not buy any trailers, just a pickup, a couple push mowers in the bed of a truck, doing yards like my house, and stay by yourself, you can make decent money.
Yeah, but it's when you try to grow.
When you try to grow it.
That's the problem. That's the problem you ran into, is trying to like, hey, I don't want to I want to grow something. I want to grow a business. I want to build something out of this. And you start to try, and you're like, no, it's not enough money.
Yeah, it's not working.
And how are you going to go like, we can go to somebody and they can say, why is your sprinkler heads, well, let's just say they were like $150 for some reason. Like, why are your sprinkler heads $150? Well, because it come with a 5-year warranty, free replacements. We even give you free adjustments once a year on them if you want. And they what are you going to do when it comes to a yard? We got to mow your yard for like $150. Why? You're just mowing it. There's no value. There's no value. How do you get the customer to see value in that?
You're going to be back out there to do it again then in 2 weeks.
When really what you want to tell them is well, because I'm only going to get to mow it 6 fucking times, and you're going to tell me it's too hot. It's not growing.
Yeah, it's hot now. Let's back it off to every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks.
Yeah, no, goodbye.
Yeah, no. Then that's the thing is like customers don't want to pay what it's actually worth. The customers should just be doing it. The people should just be mowing their own yards or pay the neighborhood kid $20.
Yeah, like you said, that residential mowing shouldn't even be a business. The commercial mowing, that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah, that's where you can get into like contracts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Contracts where you can actually make some money.
Yeah, we're maintaining the whole property. Residential, you should just be do it yourself or pay the neighbor, the kid pulling a mower in a wagon, $20.
Yeah, the summertime kid, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't exist. Anyway, that was probably wasn't a bad thing to talk about. I'm sure there's people curious about it. Probably never thought about it that way.
Yeah,
it took you what, 2 years to figure it out?
Yeah, when I started hiring people, started growing, and realizing like I'm not making any more money than I was by myself, and you start figuring out less. If I start hiring people and growing, I'm actually going to start losing more money than I am. This just doesn't work out. No, you got to start thinking about.
That's what we're here talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your money going, and how's it coming in, and where's it going?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we got another question here from Mike. It says, I'm going into year 4 of my own irrigation business, 15 years experience, still not really making decent money. I have 2 service vans, one I run, one the other guy runs. What kind of money should I be making? Going rate a customer expects is $80 an hour up here in BC, British Columbia.
Oh, cool.
Any advice on how to run a service or how a service call should be priced? How Service Titan would benefit such a small crew? I feel that we are very busy. I work my tail off, and I feel like we are killing it. Good Google reviews, lots of raves on local pages. And at the year end, I'm wondering what happened. No car payments. We run very old vans. No equipment payments. Should I hire another guy? Should I hire someone to answer phones? All that stuff.
Well, first of all, if, it's still, depending on when this podcast comes out, you may put this part out early enough. You may skip ahead and put this one out early enough. But I would, if it's still slow enough for you, I would invite you to come down and get on the show with us so we can have a conversation, maybe answer some of these questions a little bit better. But first of all, 15 years experience, that's good. That's a decent amount of experience. But it's time for you to stop getting sprinkler experience. It's time for you to get out of the truck. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but the first thing you need to do is get out of the truck. Find somebody else while right now it's about to be February. You got a little bit of time to maybe find somebody that's good. Put that guy in that van, even if he makes some mistakes, maybe doesn't do it quite the way you would do it. As long as your other guy's killing it and he's somebody that you can mold, put somebody else in that van. Get out of that van. It's time for you to get out of that van. It's time for you to sit at home and figure out, why is my business not making money? Because you're not going to be able to do that while you're trying to make money from the customer. We've seen that firsthand experience.
Yeah, no doubt.
And, $80 for you to show up, that's what we don't have an hourly rate. I think we've been over that a bunch of times, but, most of our customers expect $80 when we show up. It's $80. We come out, we inspect everything. That's what they're expecting to pay when we get there. I would say the next thing you need to do is get rid of an hourly rate.
100%.
Because hourly rate's great. People get used to that, but you're never going to bring value to your customer. You're never going to be able to say, well, it's going to take me 3 hours to change this. Like you're not going to get value in it.
No. How do you add value to that?
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Get onto a flat rate system. If you want to come down here, we'd be more than happy to show you how we do things. We really would.
Yeah. Flat rate's much easier. You can charge more with a flat rate than you can.
Another thing too, and he may already be doing this, but one of the biggest things a couple big things actually. The thing that really helped us set us apart is, you're not going to be able to get Service Titan with 3 people. It's just not going to happen. But if you've got something, if you can't get Service Titan or something like that, if you have to go with something like Jobber, or, even if you're just running off a price book, one of the best things you can do after you switch to that flat rate system of some kind, is give your guys freedom. Give your guys freedom to go away. Give your guys freedom to take the price sheet and make it to what they want it to be.
Yeah, and you can set boundaries.
Yes, it's set boundaries, but give them the freedom to say, well, okay, well, if you're going to flat rate this, if you're going to start flat rating everything, you need to tell your guys like, hey, this is, what is it you said? Oh, the price book is a guideline. It's not a rule book. It's a guideline. This is about where you need to be. You can be higher if you need to. Don't just use my price book and just charge that price and charge that price, charge that price. No, this is a guideline for where you need to be.
Yeah. Although I've started to kind of make the price book a lot more in depth to where they can use that price book a little more.
Yeah, well, we've also had a flat rate system for all these years, and now we're kind of getting to where we know what this stuff, really needs to be charged. And we have some guys that just want to go by the guideline or less than the guideline.
Yeah.
That's where you run into problems.
Yeah. And we're not just going to have like one pipe leak price, one valve price. We're going to have
multiple,
8 pipe leak prices.
But we've had enough time to work all the kinks out of it.
Yeah.
That's just switch to a flat rate system and just use it as a guideline. The biggest thing, though, to take away from all of that is get out of that truck.
Yeah, I say get out of the truck. I think definitely hire somebody to answer the phones for you and start getting an actual call booking process. And you can hire a company called Power Selling Pros, and they will train you or train the person. I wouldn't have it be you. Hire a female to answer the phones and set them up with Power Selling Pros, and they will give them a call script that's designed to book calls.
And you may, your first impression might be, well, I don't have the money to hire somebody to answer calls. Well, you do, you just don't see it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I would, if you're the one answering the phone or if you've got somebody else answering the phone, track their booking rate. If their booking rate is anything less than, let's say 40% or 50%.
Yeah, I'd say 70%.
No, like the person that they already have. If it's them or.
I'm just thinking if it's less than 70, then you're losing money right now.
Okay. I was going to say anything less than 50, if you hire somebody, get them on a good script, they go from 50 to 80, they're going to pay for themselves and the amount of calls that they book.
Yeah.
Provided that you and your guys, even if you don't get out of the truck and you just do that alone will get you more exposure to where you can make the money to pay for that person.
Yeah. Even if you stay in the truck, if you're in one truck and your guy's in another, I'm assuming you're answering the phones. You hire somebody to answer the phones for you, and you double your booking rate. Well, now you can go from 2 vans to 4 vans. Literally, just like that. It's that easy. You'll have twice as much work.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to get flat rate, make sure your prices are where they need to be on a flat rate, offer options. I mean, you could double your revenue
and
with a few tweaks.
And ultimately, you may not be a business person. Where you want to be is in that truck, and that might be great. But even if you're not a good business person, there's nobody that cares about your business more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get out of there. It's time for you to set yourself apart from those guys and start figuring out how. Get yourself in an office or get yourself at home and say, how can I make this better?
Yeah. You need a good sales process.
Once you get through all that stuff, then you need to start tracking your technician's average ticket. That'll be the first thing.
Yeah. Average ticket, conversion rate, booking rate. Once you can watch it, then you can figure out how to improve it.
Yeah.
And you said in
the last episode, you don't know if you're winning if you don't know what the score is.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll start seeing, oh, wow, I have a lot more money than normal.
But yeah, come down here. We're here.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's why I think getting somebody to answer the phone. I mean, that was a huge help. I was nervous when we first hired somebody to answer the phone. It's like, oh, is this the right time? Should we wait? This is just a non-revenue producing employee. But
it is technically a non-revenue producing employee, but she can make your revenue producing employees efficiency double.
Yeah, way better.
That's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah.
You are hiring somebody that's not going to make you money, but she's going to allow the guys that are making you money double the exposure.
Yeah. And once I did it, I was like, oh, wow, I'll never go back.
Yeah.
Literally never. If she quit, I would find somebody else the next day.
Well, also too, she's, when you've got that person answering the phone, she's the one pretty much setting the example for what the customer's expecting.
She's setting the tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to make you sound professional.
Yeah. And customers don't want to hear me answer the phone.
No. Yeah, hell no.
They don't. If they hear me, they think I'm the technician. Then they want to ask me questions. Well, what do you think the problem is? How much do you think this is going to cost? And then I have to try to navigate around that because I don't want to answer those questions. I just want to get out to the house.
Yeah. When they hear a girl on the phone, they're like, all right.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the way the world works. Once they hear a girl, they're going to say, okay, well, she don't know what she's talking about. I just need to get somebody out to my house.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of you trying to do it, they make them do it automatically.
Yeah. Yeah, which is good. I mean, really, because that's all we're trying to do. We'll figure out what the problem is and what it costs once we get there. And there's no way you can. And I see people on the Facebook giving quotes over phones. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
You don't know what it's going to cost. Because people will say, "Oh, I have a broken sprinkler head," and you get out there and it's a valve under a tree, and you're going to give a price over the phone for that. You don't know what it is. Customers don't know what it is.
Yeah, and you're cutting yourself short. What else could be there?
Yeah, what else is there? We just need to get there and figure it out.
Yeah, you might waste a lot of trips doing that, but there's a lot of stuff that you're going to start picking up on.
Mm-hmm.
Another good advice I would say, please don't just go out there and just do what the customer tells you to do. Don't just go out there and change someone's sprinkler head. There's so much. People will always say like, well, I'm going to leave some work for me in the future. What if the future never comes?
Yeah.
What if they call somebody else? What if for some reason you're busy that day and they say, oh, okay, well, I might call you next week then if you're busy, and then they go and call somebody else. And then they they call us and we come out there, we address it. We come up and write them an estimate for everything that we found. And they're going to say, well, how come my other company didn't pick up on that? I really like them.
And we hear that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people don't want to keep calling you back. They're taking time out of their busy day to have somebody out there. A lot of people would just rather have it all addressed. That way they don't have to see you for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah, they don't want to see you every 3 months.
No, they don't.
They got more important stuff to do, and so do you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Answered that pretty well. I had another request. Some guy wanted to know about how we implement AI and automation in our business.
Ooh.
So I wrote down some stuff here. Not everything on here is what we do, but things we could do, things that are available to us. So figured we could go over that. Maybe you'll think of some other stuff that I don't have. So for AI and automation, I mean, this stuff is taken over. I mean, it's popping up in just about everything. Although some of this stuff I don't think is quite there yet. But some of it's pretty neat. Well, the first one for sales, AI is getting into sales and sales training. This one I think is pretty neat. We don't do it. I've thought about it. Our technicians aren't too keen on the idea of it. There's a company called Rilla Voice, and Service Titan has adopted their own version of this called Sales Pro. If you're on Service Titan, you can get Sales Pro. But what they do is this software actively listens to you talking to the customer through the iPad or your phone. It will transcribe the conversation with you and the customer, notate it all down. And then that's good for just record keeping. That way, if the customer says, "Oh, your technician told me this," you can go back and pull the conversation and say, "I had the whole conversation right here. That was never said, or it was said." But what they do is, it's sales training. So I guess the best way to describe it is if you have a really good technician who's killing it on sales, this software is going to listen and figure out what that technician is doing and give notes to your other technicians who aren't doing as good. And it's just going to give feedback, and it's just training all of your technicians. Mm-hmm. And even it'll keep training.
We may push that through anyway, just for the recorded conversation, because even for the short time that I've been going back and talking to some of these customers, I had one guy say, well, he didn't tell me none of this. He just said this. And then I called him and he's like, no, I told him everything.
Yeah, no, that happens all the time.
Yeah, that alone would be worth having because I could say, okay, well, all conversations are recorded.
Yep.
I don't know how the customer would feel about that, but
I don't know.
might not bring that up. But at least I could go back. If they're because at least if they're telling me, well, your guy didn't do none of this, I go back and listen to that conversation. No, he did all of it. He just upset about something else, and then I call him back and say, I talked to the technician. He said all your issues were addressed.
Yeah.
Maybe not tell him the conversation was recorded, but
Well, the thing with the guy from Rilla, I cannot remember his name. He's done podcasts, and he said all of what he's found is customers don't really care if the conversation's recorded. They're so used to it. Every phone call is recorded nowadays. Everything's recorded, so it's not really.
Yeah, but I mean, I see that, but I don't know, maybe, and this is just a me thing, and I tell people not to do this, but for me, I wouldn't expect somebody standing in front of me that conversation to be recorded. Now, a phone call, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it's the way you present it too. If you just say, "Hey, I'm going to record this conversation," that way, I'm held accountable. If there's anything that gets missed, I just you would just phrase it in kind of that way.
Yeah.
Then I think it could work. But that's a pretty neat way. And then if you're a killer, even if you are the best technician, it's still going to train you because if you three good sales in a row and then you have one that you don't, it's going to tell you, hey, here's what you did right on the last three, and here's what you did wrong on this one. Here's what you could improve on.
Oh, and I'm going to chime in here for some extra AI stuff because I got something sitting in my house that tells me we need it, unfortunately. We need some type of AI system to track van maintenance. So I got a van that was given to me by one of the other guys because they wanted one, and the oil's not even on the stick. Like I can't even move it now. I'm gonna have to change the oil at my house now because I can't even move it because I don't even want to start it again.
Well, I have that actually.
Oh, okay, it's over there.
Yeah, certain Service Titan has their whole thing is run off what they
Fleet
call
Pro.
Titan Intelligence, and then they have Service Titan has Dispatch Pro, Fleet Pro, Sales Pro, which is the Rilla Voice, their version of Rilla Voice, and Scheduling Pro.
The Fleet Pro is what I was looking at when you came in there earlier.
Yeah, so the Fleet Pro, and then that comes with dash cams.
So maybe we need that, I guess.
I think we need to get going on that.
We've been through 4 transmissions? We hadn't been through an engine yet, actually.
No.
That one might.
No engines. Yeah. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, if we're just looking at what AI stuff Service Titan offers, Dispatch Pro is supposed to. I don't have any of this stuff from them, but Dispatch Pro, that's supposed to help find the best technician for the job based off of their previous work. Help with dispatching.
Oh, that's me.
And routing. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much like what you do, but
Fleet Pro and possibly Sales Pro would be something we might need to look into.
Yeah.
Depending on what it costs and how well it integrates. But if it integrates with Service Titan where we can see it on our dashboards, that would be great.
Yeah, it does.
We need that.
And then Scheduling Pro is just something you can drop on your website, your Google business profile, maybe even your LSA account, where people can automatically book. You set up times, parameters about job types, when your windows are open, how far out. Maybe you want people to book, but it has to be at least 3 days out. They can go in there, automatically enter in all their stuff. This is online booking, but like a smart online booking. And I think there's a chat bot with that too.
Yeah, chat box.
So yeah, it's kind of the stuff that Service Titan has. And this is several of the many reasons why Service Titan.
Oh, one more thing. One more piece of advice I'd give what was the name of the guy Mike.
Yeah.
One more piece of advice for him, when you do get out of the truck, if you and your other guy are used to, interacting all the time, if y'all like meet up and get gas in the morning or something like that, try to keep that, tangible relationship when you move out of the truck and into it like an office setting where you're just overhead off, and try to maintain that personal, tangible relationship so that way, your guy still feels comfortable and he still feels motivated to push forward.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of companies do. I used to always think it was stupid, but now I think we should do it. They like Monday Mojo calls. This is what they call them. I used to think, that's so cheesy. It's dumb. But now it's like, man, I think that's really, there's a method to the madness.
I'm telling you, it's always the things. For us, it's always been the thing of there's no way that's going to work. That's the thing that works better than everything else you choose.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we still continue to learn the hard way.
Yeah,
we still choose that option last. We're like, all right, we tried everything else. Let's try this. There's no way it's going to work. That's the thing that works.
Yep. Yep.
Happens every time.
Yeah, it's the things you don't want to do that you end up just having to do.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, shit, I should have done that sooner.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so for sales, there's some really good AI options there. But you got so Sales Pro, you have to have Service Titan. Rilla Voice, you can just get. I believe you can just download that on your tablet and have that running in the background. You don't have to have Service Titan. You could use that with House Call Pro and probably Jobber too. And for phone systems, a lot of answering services are rolling out AI answering services. We have a third-party answering service. If our CSRs are all booked up, and you'll see sometimes you get 10 calls all at once, and you just can't take them all, 20 calls, whatever. So whenever our CSRs are taken up, instead of just going to voicemail, because people don't leave voicemails, they go right over to a third-party answering service. And now these answering services are starting to be AI. And this is where I've listened to some of them. They're getting good, but they're not perfect yet.
Yeah, they're still working bugs out of them.
Yeah. So we still have real people as answering services. But I imagine in the next year, they're going to be indistinguishable.
Pretty well versed.
Yeah. And the voices are already indistinguishable. It's just they get glitchy. You'll say something and they start skipping or whatever. You might have a 2-minute conversation with an AI answering service. You won't know it's fake, and then something will happen, and you'll be like, "Oh, yep, this is fake. This is a robot." And I don't really want that.
No. Well, our one CSR does pretty well.
Yeah. Chatbots are pretty much all AI, and they're getting programmed and they're getting smarter to answer. And we had Ben and Garrett with Lone Star. They built their own chatbot. I forget what they called it.
It was Upcharge.
Well, it's Upsurge, but yeah, they I don't know. They gave their chatbot a name, but
they did, and I forgot what it was.
That chatbot was booking calls, and they had $10,000 in revenue and booked from that thing in 2 weeks or something.
That's what they said, but I never saw they never had a printout or anything hard to show for that.
No, but I did do a Zoom with him, and he showed me how it works. He showed me the flow of how if a customer says this, he showed me the back end of it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. So that you just have to keep working with it and programming it. If a customer says this, what is the chatbot going to say? How is it all going to flow out? That stuff's cool, and throw that on your website. I think you need to have every way for a customer to contact you. Call, fill out the form, email, a chatbot.
Some people don't want to talk to a CSR. Some people just want to, all right, So there's some people that are going to say, let me see if I can just go in here and do this and book for somebody to come out.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah. Online booking, just have everything. Yeah, that's amazing. I personally like to call. I don't like doing that online stuff. I want to talk, I want to call. I want to make sure my concerns are addressed. I want to make sure I'm talking to somebody I think will take care of my issue and then book.
And the best advice I can give anybody that's doing this is don't build it based off of what you think you would want.
Mm-mm.
Build it for everybody.
Yeah, no.
Some people will call, some people will email. Believe it or not, some people will fill out that thing on your website with all the boxes and the contact information, or that thing you're talking about where they can just automatically book an appointment off of the Google page. Some people do that.
Yeah, some people do that and never reach out, just book it and then expect you to be there, and then never even talk to you. And
it's just the way the world works now.
Yep.
But COVID did a lot of things. One of the things it did was make things contactless.
Yeah.
So,
but that's fine. Just work with it.
Yeah.
Be on top of it.
That's. I mean, think about it this way. That's a call your CSR doesn't have to spend time answering. She can be on the phone with somebody else.
Mm-hmm. If you have all those options.
Yeah, and your system's already booked it.
Yeah. It's better to have all those options than not, because if customers see that, if they see that on our website and then they go to yours and your website was built 20 years ago.
On GoDaddy.
Yeah, they're just scrolling through and all it is call to book. And then they go to ours and there's 4 different ways to book. Who are they going to go with?
Options.
Yeah. Options. Options on everything. Follow-ups. We've been doing follow-ups over the phone, but we have automated quote follow-ups.
Yeah, through what's it called? Chirp.
Yeah, so Service Titan does it, and then we start texting. We build a whole campaign. So as soon as we send a quote, they're getting a text saying, "Hey, you should have received your quote," and then you can have it the next day. They get a message, 2 days, however the intervals, and you can have that go on for 2 weeks. They're going to get texts, emails, voicemail drops, all that stuff for 2 weeks. And it does not stop until they reply to you. And they just keep on getting automatically followed up with. You record the voicemail drop and they're just going to get it. They get that one every 5 days. Get an email every 3 days, a text every 2 days. However you want to do that. We do that through Chirp. And we're going to have a guy from Chirp come on. We got him booked to come on the podcast, and we're going to talk to him more about all that stuff.
Sweet. When's that going to be?
It's going to be on Friday. This Friday. Yeah.
Sweet.
So that'd be cool. I'm excited about that. Reviews. Reviews have been automated for a while. You can also use ChatGPT to respond to reviews. Get personalized responses to each review. That still takes some time. It's not necessarily automated, but it does save time. Another thing Chirp does, speed the lead. As soon as somebody fills out a form on our website, they're getting a text. As soon as, if we ever miss a call, or we don't really miss calls because they go to answering services, but sometimes people call and hang up. And that would be a missed call.
That happened to me the other day.
What?
Well, I was trying to get a hold of Kelly, and I called the main office number, and I got the answering service, so I hung up because I knew it was the answering service. I immediately got a text.
Yeah, that's what happens. Immediately. Yeah, if they're calling, hang up.
It was very personalized too. It said, we're sorry, we missed your call. We appreciate you reaching out to us, and then it had some options there.
Yeah, and if they're already in our system, it should have their name in it. And you'd be surprised how many calls, how many jobs we book off that. They'll hang up, we'll text them, and they don't call back. They just reply to the text, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm trying to book an appointment," and then we just text them right back. "Oh, okay, yeah, what day?"
We have quite a few. I've had quite a few customers where I'm like, if you'll just text that number, you'll get straight through. Like, really? Yeah, just text it.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not a. I mean, it is. It is. It is. It is a like a phone like you would think a big business would have, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah, you can call, text, send pictures to it,
Yeah.
do whatever.
If you want to book with us or you need us and you want to cut around the line and get around to everybody, text, shoot a text. You'll get right through.
Yeah, yeah,
Even if she's on the phone with somebody, you text, you're getting right through.
yeah. Just pop right up. Um,
What's the scheduling? The next.
yeah. ServiceTitan has like a schedule engine. Well, we already talked about auto booking, but then it does like route planning, optimized scheduling. I think that goes back into like Dispatch Pro, but that helps do route planning, things like that.
So we skip down to marketing then. That looks more important.
Yeah, I mean for marketing, if you want to do,
We do want because we do want to. I mean, we definitely want to talk about all this stuff. But for most of the people that are listening, that are like wanting to listen, we need to cover like because most people, there's probably a bunch of people that we have listening, and correct me if I'm wrong, that are they're sitting there looking at their business like, man, what do I need to do to make what do I need to do, and they don't realize it's the big step. What are the first next big steps I need to take?
that's a good point. I think Chirp.
Marketing is one of them.
Well, yeah, marketing. I think Chirp was a big one. I mean,
Chirp is definitely a big one.
I mean, you just got to think about like what are the low hanging fruits to grow? You got to be booking the calls, and Chirp will help you book calls.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be closing estimates. Chirp is going to help you do that.
Oh, something else. If you're on, this could be for Mike or anybody. If you're on Google and you're doing good on Google, you can use Chat GPT to reply to all those reviews.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do that. It's not necessarily automated, but it does give you personalized.
Yeah, because I can promise you that what you're going to say is not going to be as good as what it's going to say.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's going to sound professional. It's going to be personal, and it's going to be polite.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, the AI and the automation that's going to really move you forward is going to be whatever is going to help you book more jobs, book more calls, convert more quotes, get more reviews. It's going to be really, I think, those three things in the broadest categories.
And once you get those three things, even if your guys aren't doing as good as you think they should, get the workflow going, get all that stuff taken care of. Once you have that, because once you get that set up and going, that's going to flow by itself without you.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to answer the call. She's going to book it, put it on your schedule, and then your guys are going to run it. Okay, I've got Google working. I've got all this stuff. All this is kind of like flying by itself. Now I can come back over here. Okay, well, this guy's average ticket is $175, and this guy's average ticket's $489. I need to figure out what this guy's doing that this guy's not. So once you get the flow coming in, all right, now I need to maximize each one.
Yeah.
Get the leads and then maximize the leads.
Yeah. And then if you want, and then if you get there, you can go back to Rilla or Sales Pro.
You can't maximize leads you ain't got.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be the biggest one. And if you want to get more jobs, you can automate postcard marketing. There's a company called Dope Marketing. I use them. I think their customer service sucks, to be honest with you guys. But their platform is really cool. They make great postcards. You just have to do everything yourself. I think their customer service sucks. But you can integrate it with your CRM, so you can set it up to where like anytime they'll build you a bunch of postcards, and then if you close out a job over, let's say it's $500, that customer automatically gets a thank you card. If you close out a job over $1,500, they automatically get a thank you card or a different type of card. Maybe if it's over $3,000, they automatically get sent a box of cookies. And you can go on there and look at the map in a city that you want to work in, just circle it with your mouse, however big or small, and it'll pick out all of the residential homes in that area, pull out all of the businesses, exclude those, just have the residential homes. Then you can filter it by home value, area, how much, what's the average income in that area. You can filter it all this, and then you can just start doing postcard blitzes. And you can say, all right, once you have, say it's 1,000 homes, you could say, all right, I'm going to send this postcard on Friday. And then next week, I want to send this postcard on Friday. And then for the next 6 weeks, you could send 6 postcards to all 1,000 of those homes. And you can automate that stuff. So
just an idea. We didn't really incorporate it, but it is a good idea.
Yeah. I use them for a little bit. I just thought their customer service sucked. And they'll set you up with, we have tracking numbers. They'll set you up with trackable QR codes, everything you need to really see.
That's another important thing I think they should be doing in the beginning once they kind of get their call flow coming in is different call tracking numbers. If you're doing stickers, if you're doing signs in people's yards, if you're doing, if you've got a main number on the side of your businesses, or you got, something else, figure out where your leads are coming from.
Yeah. Yeah. With Service Titan, you can have as much of that as you want, but otherwise just get CallRail.
And then we can also track revenue by call tracking numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We made like $10,000 or $12,000 last year just off of stickers that we were putting on people's controllers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they were calling off of them, or somebody sold the house and they didn't really get any information. They go out to the control, they see our sticker, they call us.
Yep. Yep. Service Titan we can make as many numbers as we want, and it automatically attributes dollar amounts to the phone number, because as soon as you call in to that number, we book the job from that number. Service Titan knows that's the job. That's how much money we made. It's all tracked automatically. But if you don't have that,
got to know what the score is.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to know. That's what's cool. You can set up CallRail, even if and you can set your own tracking numbers. And that CallRail's cheap. And you can just start making phone numbers, set what number it forwards to. And at least if you can't put a dollar figure on it, at least know that, well, at least I got 50 calls from that number. Yeah. Birdeye is for reviews. Birdeye will help you automatically get reviews, can automatically post to all of your social media, your Facebook, Nextdoor, and everything else, Instagram. Birdeye is another good automation. We're looking into a referral program to automatically send referrals to tap into Service Titan. There's a bunch out there. Like Referral Factory was one. We're trying to figure out the one we want to use, but we wanted to tap into our Service Titan. And as soon as we create a customer, as soon as we close out a job, they get a text with a unique referral link that they can send to their friends and family. And then they get rewarded for every person, and that we can track it. So that's what we're looking into. There's a ton of stuff.
And then, what was I going to say? I had some. Oh, since you're done with all that, and we're almost at our hour. For somebody, we'll go back to your email. For somebody that's got 15 years of experience, the one thing you're going to have that we didn't have in the beginning is, if you've been doing it 15 years, you're going to, once you get to where you can track everything, see what your guys are doing out in the field on their own, what works and what doesn't work. If you got a guy that's doing this, that's not doing great, and you got this guy that's doing great, and you work with that other guy, and you're just getting that, you're trying to work with him, can't get him to do this, can't get him to do that. If you've been doing it 15 years, all right, time to get rid of this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've been doing it long enough to know, okay, I need to find somebody like this.
Yeah. And once you get out of the van, it'll be easy for you to help guys diagnose over the phone if they do have an issue.
Yeah.
That's something I could never do.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something you'll be able to do. Even if you got, you know, I've had lots of customers. They're so, HVAC is what's done this. You'd be surprised how many HVAC guys that go out to a house that have no clue how to diagnose it. They only know how to sell a new system. And I've had it happen to me several times, and HVAC's was making people comfortable with this. The customers are already used to them being on FaceTime with somebody else. Like, hey, I'm having this issue. What do I do? They're already used to that. Is the most hilarious part. And I would think that they would look at that and be like, they sent somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, but they're already used to that.
Dang.
It's funny because everyone that's told me that, man, I had an AC guy out last year and he was on FaceTime with somebody and they finally figured it out. The people, they're already used to that. The world is so interconnected. They're used to that.
Yeah, I could see that. And yeah, I mean, you always just pawn it off like, hey, man, I hit something weird here,
Yeah. If you've still got the time, you've got the experience, you can be, hey, FaceTime me right quick. Let me see that. All right, you need to do this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if it's somebody you've hired, you've trained, you know how to talk to, you can explain it to them to where they can understand how to do it.
Yeah.
And make sure another thing too, because you're gonna have the power that we didn't have. You're gonna have the power to do that. We have it now. We didn't have it when we started. Make sure that they're comfortable calling you. Make sure you build a comfortable work environment for them. Like, okay, hey, let me call Mike right quick. Let me see if he can help me. Make that a comfortable relationship, because otherwise, if you don't, they're just gonna take a guess.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be bad.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing you might consider, getting out of the truck as quickly as possible is the best, because then you can start focusing on all of the stuff we just read off. But really dialing in a good sales process if you don't have one, because you need to switch to flat rate. You need to build options. You need a software that does that. If you can't get on Service Titan, then maybe House Call Pro, or just some other bidding software.
Man, you can do it off Jobber, but it's hard because you have to pre-build the options in your head.
Yeah, I think there's other quoting software, just strictly quoting softwares that are cheap too, that you could do temporarily. Don't say, all right, now that I got it, I'm going to do this for the next 3 years.
I'm pretty sure you can build different estimates in Jobber. It's just you have to present them one at a time.
Yeah, Service Titan, I can do them all side by side.
Yeah. We could do 20 estimates side by side if we wanted to.
Yeah. But you'll get used to doing flat rate. You get used to offering options if you're not already. And then maybe focus on getting comfortable with that sales process, really dialing it in, making money, train your other guy to do it, get him doing it. Like, even if it only takes you 2 weeks to lock that in. Once you have it locked in, go get him locked in on it. Then you get out of the truck, go get him locked in on it. Start training people, getting them locked in on it.
Yeah, and the minute you think a sales process isn't going to help you is when you're going to fail. Because I got a funny story about somebody that didn't think he could be sold to Mr. Two Cameras.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What they got to tell you? Why you want 2 cameras? Your house is already going to be robbed by the time you see the cameras.
Yeah, I had the security guy come out here and told my wife, "Look, we got a voucher for $350. That should pay for one. I'm only getting one more. I ain't buying nothing else." And the guy comes out here and is like, "Why do you want 2 cameras? The camera's only going to let you watch people rob your house. Yeah. It's not going to alert you of anything. It just let you watch them."
What did he tell you? If you're just gonna get one thing, just get like window and door sensors.
He was like, "Yeah, he said, if anything, don't even get cameras. You should just get sensors on doors and windows, and
that way it alerts you immediately.
Yeah, that way it alerts you if somebody breaks. Next thing you know, I'm spending $1,500.
Yeah, because you're like, I want all my windows censored.
Yeah, and I didn't even get cameras.
Yeah, and the most hilarious. This is what I find funny, and I know this is all in everyone's sales process, and it's working. A lot of people will still want cameras on the front of their house, but they'll already have a Ring camera up front that already detects motion.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. Yeah, the house came with a Ring camera. But see, that's what a good salesman does. He's he's educating you. He's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. How about let me explain to you that, like, let's go through this, and then, yeah, did I spend more money than I wanted to? Yeah. But did it make sense? Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what a good salesman does. And he gave me options. The first option was like 12 grand. You're turning my house into Fort Knox. It's like, nope. He was like, yeah, I figured. Nope, we're not doing that one. Let's bring it back down. Bring it back down. Bring it back down. Then we got something I was comfortable with, $1,500. Cool. Done.
Yep. Yeah, you got your 2 cameras, all right.
Yeah. Don't even have cameras. So.
And then after it was all said and done, you sat down and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. He's sitting there like, that's,
no,
dude.
It works.
Yeah. He sold me. But I wasn't mad about it.
Well, no, because he didn't try to scam you. He educated you. Like, hey, why waste your money on this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I try to tell people with the big the big rotors. Down here, and I don't know what it's like for everybody else, but in Texas, rotors, turf rotors are horrible because they're not precipitation rate matched. Nobody down here matches them. You'll never go in somebody's backyard and see a 3 gallon per minute 180 in the middle. You'll never go to that end where it's a 45 and see 1.5 gallon nozzles. It's not going to happen. They're all going to be 3.0s, every single one, or they're all going to be 4.0s and 5.0s. It's not going to happen. And you get in the summertime and it's really green around the rotor and then really green at the far distance and then everything in the middle is dead.
Yeah.
The rotor breaks and they're like, hey, I need this replaced. I'm like, why? Why not just let's take out all these rotors and put some spray heads in. We'll do MPs that will cover all those distances, and then we can take GPM readings. We can try to match, and then MP rotors are precipitation rate matched. They're matched precipitation rate. So and if you didn't know that, you should know by watching it. If you close the MP, the way it matches one of the ways it matches the precipitation rate is the more you close it, the slower it turns. The more you open it, the faster it turns.
Yeah.
So it's just educating people like, hey, I could replace this rotor for, $80, $90, put this in. Why? All your grass is dead and it's green around the why? Just turn it off at that point. Don't even use it. It's not doing you any good.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd rather just yank that wire out of the controller and just don't even use it. It's not doing you any good. Your grass is still dying.
Water with a water hose.
Yeah, water. Yeah. A lot of people, I'd tell people all the time, like, why don't you just water with a water hose? You do a lot better than this will. Yeah,
it'll save you. Yeah, you'll not be wasting water.
They just put these in because they have to, because they have to fully irrigate the property.
Mm-hmm.
And I do this because it's definitely irrigated. All right, it's just throwing water everywhere.
Yeah.
None of the precipitation's matched. The head spacing it's hardly ever correct. You'll get
the sprinkler system in my house sucks.
Yeah, none of them. You got 12 and 15 foot nozzles everywhere, and your heads are spaced like 8 feet apart.
Yeah, dude, I have a 360 degree nozzle at the corner of my driveway and sidewalk.
Yeah, why?
Like in that past inspection.
Yeah.
Or I did. I mean, it's changed now, but I remember like the first time I turned it on, I was like, okay, I'm watering a big portion of my sidewalk and driveway.
Sweet.
Yeah, like this is cool.
Yeah. Tell people like you are wasting your money.
Yeah.
Just turn it off. If you're not gonna let me help you, just turn it off. Just get rid of it.
And if you look, I can drive through my whole neighborhood, and my house is still this way too. On the sides of my house, right up along the side of my house, where the heads are, is green, and in the middle between my house and my neighbor's yard, like where the low spot is green, but everything else in between is dead in the summertime.
It just doesn't cover right.
Mm-mm.
Regular fan nozzles do not cover right. They have to be really, really close together.
Yeah, they're terribly installed.
So, well, I think that's about it. That's our 1 hour.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get some more email questions and maybe we get some people on.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Rate us on Apple. Yeah. Go to our website. Send us some questions.
All right. We'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.